Hey, and we are live. What's up, everyone that is tuning in today for another Block is Hot episode? Today, we actually have Sunny Boy from the What the Duck project, as well as the upcoming Rich Token launch on Cardano. Now, I've been talking to Sunny for a long time now. He's actually been a member of our group and project for a long time. And we're just going to learn a little bit more about what they're doing today. We've actually, on our end, been helping give ideas and helping kind of in the different areas that we can with his upcoming project here. And we're really excited for him to launch and being able to be a part of this with him. But yeah, Sunny, did you want to kind of give a quick introduction of who you are to everyone on the block today and kind of go over your background a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. This is Sunny Boy from What the Duck, and we've been in the space for the past 1.5 years. And with What the Duck, when we started off, we pretty much started off in the bear market. Things were really rough when we started off, but we made sure that we were the ones who stood out along the way. And we started off with VIP boxes, which were 555 in number, and then we moved on to the WTD NFTs, which were the PFPs. In our roadmap, we also had the game that we've already delivered in the first 4 months as well, and we've been having weekly races here and then. So that is something that we've done in part of our roadmap. And since the bear market started, we had to figure out a way where we could, engage the people, make sure that we're giving out some utility in one way or the other. So that's when we came up with the idea of, having our own trading channel. And I've been a trader for the past 8 years. I have crypto experience of around 4 years and, 8 years of proper stock market experience. And we pivoted to, technical analysis in the trading part. So that was a good thing that we did probably. I've been an analyst for the Block Investment Group, as Jason just said. I'm also, an alpha caller in Cardano Launch, JA, TMM, a lot of other groups. So I try to make sure that we're getting visibility across the space as well. What the Duck, the founder being visible across the space really matters a lot for the project's visibility also. So that was something that I had in my mind as well when we started out. And luckily, we found a good community of traders. And then that has pretty much been the journey for What the Duck.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's one of those situations too where I think one of the best values for a project is like education and information. And I know I'm biased because we're also running like an alpha group, but I think it's just so important with all the different skills and knowledge out there to be able to access that information, learn that information, and hopefully that information can help you grow or make you money or whatever aspect it is. And I don't know if you've heard of this guy named Alex Hermosi before, but he's like a major entrepreneur I really look up to. And
Right.
it's interesting because he's like the difference between you making, let's say, $50,000 and $1 million a year is the information. You don't know how, right? It's the lack of knowing that skill or whatever the case is. So always love channels or projects that promote that education side. And I know that you've been on top of a lot of these different TA plays. Now, can you go over like what some of these TA plays have looked like for your guys' project? And then we can kind of dive into what you guys are now planning on doing with your new Rich token.
Well, yeah. So, with the technical analysis, what we have always maintained is that we've tried to educate first about how you should approach trading in the first place. It should not be you FOMOing into those green candles, which you're seeing right now with BTC. This is not a point where you probably start to enter. It's about entering a trade with a trade setup where you have your stop losses in place, where you have your limit orders in place, where you're not greedy about more profit, and when you're not emotional about your bags and not cutting your losses. So the first thing and the most important trading strategy that I've been educating people for the past 3 months is to not lose money. As long as you're not losing money, you're always going to make money. So that is probably the most important thing that we've been educating people inside our Discord, to make sure that you're starting off with stop losses. And stop loss should be the first thing that you should be setting. So another thing that we've always maintained is that everyone should have a level playing ground. It should not be me entering a trade and then asking everyone to buy in, which in turn pumps up my bag as well. But what we've made sure that we're doing daily VCs. every day we are going over the DeFi charts, going over the crypto charts, and making sure that everyone is well educated as to why we are taking a certain entry and why are we exiting at a certain point. So we do limit orders. We post limit orders every day where people can join in, see the limit orders, bid for them. So everyone gets in at the same time, everyone has the same targets, and everyone has the same stop losses, which has been the most important thing in terms of earning people's trust as well for what the duck.
Awesome. And I know that you guys have been running What the Duck for a while now. And recently you guys announced that you're going to launch a new token, the Rich token. And I guess I can kind of show this whole little Rich token graphic that you guys have going on. But can you go into detail about why you guys are launching a token now? And what was kind of your guys' idea behind Rich?
The basic idea came from one of our group members who was like, "You're making people rich, so why don't you just call it Rich?" So that was basically how the Dicker name came into the place. And there was one more thing that really stood out for me in this meme coin season is that there have been a lot of memes which have been, so there are two types of memes, right? One is that you see on a day-to-day basis and you derive from them. The memes that you see on a day-to-day basis happen around you and then you derive from them, and the other ones are that you manufacture them, and the other ones that you want to create your own identity, you want to create your own meme token and give a whole different meaning to it rather than it being derived from somewhere. So with Rich, what we plan to do is that BTC ETF is getting approved, and you have that crazy bull market feels right now coming in. So the narrative of Rich is that crypto is the move forward, and fiat bills are shit. That is why you have one of our NFTs pooping out dollar bills as well. So it's just about the narrative that we're using for the Rich token. We want to make sure that this is something that we're doing it on our own, because once you go to a derivative kind of a meme where you have a limited scope of moving it along, in terms of Rich, what we can do is that we can have all sorts of things to do with it. I mean, people get rich by gambling, people get rich by investing, people get rich by trading, people get rich by just having a good daily life. So there's a lot of things that we can do with Rich as a ticker name and Rich as a meme. So that's the reason that we went with the name. And we also feel that there were a lot of mistakes obviously one makes when they start off their first project, which is What the Duck. So we wanted to make sure that once we're starting Rich, we will make sure that it's a completely different brand in terms of brand development and the business development that we do over here. And we've learned from our mistakes, and we have been doing the things the right way for Rich. We've made sure that we're partnering up with the right people, starting with you guys. So I just want to say that this is just the start, and we have a lot more coming in terms of partnerships and in terms of collabs that we have made across the space with Rich.
Awesome. And when it comes to this, overall vision, what's exactly the vision for Rich? Now, I know kind of the origin thought was, hey, we have these different calls, we're teaching technical analysis, we're building out this kind of learning and education, that whole Rich kind of narrative. Now, what's sort of the vision that you guys have with this? Like, what are you guys trying to achieve?
So in terms of Rich, the long-term vision stays that we're going to develop this in a way where we're involving people from Cardano and from outside the space to have a single community for everything that's related to crypto, everything that's related to it could be as simple as trading signals, as we've already mentioned. It could be as simple as investments into different, we could possibly set up a space where people can invest into projects, because the NFT space itself is dying down. So there's a lot of scope in NFTs, but there's no inflow in terms of the money that they're getting into them. So we could set up a space where the rich people, the holders of the Rich token, can then come in and help all of these projects and make sure that they are also getting some piece of that. So in terms of Rich, the overall narrative is going to be completely based around making the people who are holding the Rich token richer. So that's going to be the whole idea of moving ahead with the Rich token. There are going to be a lot of more details which are going to be dropped after the pre-sale, where we'll exactly go through how the holders can then be making a lot of revenue, and also on how we can take this forward in terms of trading as well.
Awesome, awesome. And then kind of like the next question here, because I know people are going to be listening to this, stream in the future, blah, blah, blah. A lot of meme coins end up, maybe going on a pump and then they dump and then people forget about them. And like it's really hard to make a meme coin or this type of project successful in the longer term, right? So I guess my question, Sunny, is how do you guys plan on differentiating the rich token with all of these other tokens that have launched in the past? What do you guys think is going to really separate you guys from future tokens as well?
Well, I think the transparency, the visibility, and the trust that people can have on us, because we've been in the space for the 1.5 year. The CNFT space itself is around 2.5, 3 years old. So we've been there for almost half the journey what CNFT space has seen, and we've always been there. I mean, with what the duck, when things were bad, we were still there, and we made sure that we got that project back up, and we made sure that we're working day and night to make sure the project goes on a successful run eventually. And that's the same thing that we're going to do with Rich. No matter what happens with the market conditions moving forward, the one thing that is going to stand out from the rest of the projects are the founders. Because at the end of the day, no matter how good your product is, or no matter how good your art is, or no matter how good your meme is, if you don't have the people behind working for it, it makes no sense to for that brand to develop. So we're going to make sure that and we have your advisory as well. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to come up with something amazing in the next few weeks and the months to come.
Sweet. And then, yeah, I guess like moving on to the next thing here. I know a lot of meme coins at its core don't really have like some sort of utility, but a lot of people like to mention utility, just general plans, general roadmap type stuff. And I know that we had a conversation and you said you didn't want to bring up too much stuff in the beginning before you
Right.
guys actually release the token, right? But is there any generalized information that you can bring up about some of the plans to come?
So let me just put it this way. In terms of Rich Pass, for people who are buying Rich Passes for whatever the amount of ADA that you're buying in, there is going to be a certain amount of utility after the mint as well. So it's not going to be a pump and dump kind of a pass. That is first thing that I wanted to reiterate. Sorry. And the second thing that I wanted to reiterate was the native token is going to have a use case inside the first 2 weeks or the first 3 weeks. And it's going to be related to the crypto space in general, and it's not going to be your basic, your utility. So we're going to make sure that the native token comes in pretty handy in the first 3 weeks itself. It's not going to be a long-term plan. And with the different collaborations and the partnerships that we're making, so the reason that we cannot announce many partnerships and collaborations is because our LP has not launched. So it cannot be an official partnership unless we have launched an LP with any project. So, after the pre-sale, you're going to see a lot more announcements than you see normally on projects, because we're making sure that the hype that we're getting right now is being utilized in a complete manner, and making sure that we're setting up the right partnerships right now, which, makes us successful in the next weeks, months, and years to come.
Sweet. And then I guess now, like, do you mind bringing up some of these rich passes and kind of going over what people have to know? Because I know that you guys had done a mint for this rich pass. It's going to have that most of the majority of the allocation for the whole pre-sale of the token. So I don't know if you can share your screen, Sunny, and kind of go over the different pass information, maybe
Yeah,
cover like some of the tokenomics stuff.
yeah, 100%.
And
Just
I
give me
want
a
to,
second. Pulling that up. Sorry.
yeah.
Oh,
And as you're pulling that up, no worries. And if people have questions, because I see a couple questions coming up, feel free to put them in there. We'll get to all of the different questions here. I think we're just going to talk about, I guess, like the passes that you guys have and some of the tokenomics and release details, and then we can go through all these different questions.
yeah, so I'm just going to talk about the Rich pre-sale first. As you can see, the date is on the Jan 13th. That's 2 days from now, 48 hours exactly, I believe. The time is 5 p.m. UTC. You're going to have 3 hours for the pass holders to get in, to send in your ADA. We're going to give you 3 hours. Per pass allocation is 52 ADA. The maximum that we're raising is 85,500 ADA. So 52 into 1500, that's approximately 78,000. And the 7,500 will come from the jelly tokens. The jelly pro rata that we have. The percentage of tokens for sale are 50%. The snapshot time for the passes is going to be 4 to 5 p.m. UTC. So you just got to make sure that the passes are not listed at that time. It has to be in your wallet in between 4 to 5 p.m. UTC on the Jan 13 to make sure that you're getting into the pre-sale. And I'll also just bring up the graphic for the tokenomics so that 1 second, just give me a second. Yeah, I have it right now. Let me just switch the screen for this. Well, I'm new to this, so just give me a second.
Dude, all the pressure's on.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So now it's up, I guess. Yeah. So the total supply is 1 billion. Token available for sale are 50%. As you know, the maximum ADA raised is 85,500. The percentage of tokens that go for the LP is 35%. Let's say we collect 85,500. I think 62,400, 500 ADA goes for the ADA pooled with the LP. The price per rich for pre-sale is going to be 0.000171. In the pre-sale, you can buy 5,847 rich for 1 ADA. And on the DEX launch, the price is going to be, I guess, 5% higher at 1.000179 of 55, and the max starting cap that we'll be starting off with will be 145,000 ADA, and the max FDV is going to be somewhere around 171,000 ADA. The snapshot time remains the same. So around the tokenomics, it's around 50% pre-sale, 35% LP, 7.5% for airdrops, and 2.5% for giveaways, and the special Discord contest and the Twitter contest that we'll have after the launch, and 5% is for the team. After every 6 months, there'll be 1% vested for the team. So it's going to go on for 30 months. So it's not going to be right after 6 months that the team is going to get their tokens. And the LP is going to get logged away after the 48 to 72 hour period. So everything is going to be done by Brave Dogs.
Okay, sweet. So to confirm here, and sorry, sorry to people listening too. I am exhausted right now with my throat, but just to confirm, Brave Dogs is handling the distribution. They're going to lock the LP. Team tokens are vested over 30 months.
Right.
Wow. Awesome. And then when it comes to this sale, is 100% of the supply pretty much outside is going to your guys' actual passes?
Well, I didn't get you. I mean, so I didn't get the question. Sorry.
So for the actual sale and raise, there is no public ability to be able to send in for this token. They need to have the pass, correct?
They need to have the passes for sure. It's only a holder's mint, and for anything that's left out, you're probably going to take a decision with the holders. It's probably not going to be a pro rata public for sure. It's not going to be available for public. Either we're going to burn them, or either we're going to use them for the airdrops or the giveaways. So it's not going to come to the public for sure.
Awesome. And then the final date. So the passes, your guys are going to take that snapshot between 4 and 5 p.m. UTC on the 13th. And then the actual sale itself happens on the 13th as well.
Yeah, that's right.
At 5 p.m.
At 5 p.m. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. would be the time where the pass holders can mint. And a few hours after that, then we'll start the launch of the liquidity pool as well. So, the 3-hour window for sending in your ADA, and probably 1 or 2 hours from there where we'll launch the LP.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered most of the information that people have to know. Is there anything we missed before, diving in that you want to mention before we dive into some of these questions?
Well, I guess the most important thing that I want everyone to understand about Rich and about What the Duck is that the people in What the Duck already know that, me as a founder and me as a person, I've always been around. I've made sure that the community is always taken care of. With any decision that we've taken, right from our minting partners to everything, the decision has always been made by the community. So it's never been the founders alone who are doing everything, because we understand that two brains or one brain cannot work as good as 1,500, 2,000 brains can together. So I'm pretty sure that moving forward, we're going to take a lot of community advice and a community feedback from whatever we're doing. And till now, whatever we've spoken to the community, I'm pretty happy with the response that we've gotten. And as long as they are making money in our trading channel, I don't think so they're going to come. They're going to be coming for me any which way. So yeah, it's been a good start, and we hope to capitalize on the start and the hype that we're getting, and making sure that we're building on this.
Awesome. And yeah, let's get into some of these questions here. So we had Afka ask, are you allocating any tokens to Cardano influencers for marketing? And if so, who?
Well, not a
So
single token or not a single ADA is being spent on Cardano influencers or in terms of marketing or paid promotion. 100% of the tokens are with us. 100% of the ADA that we're raising is with us. There's absolute transparency. There is absolutely no one we're paying for marketing. There's absolutely no one we're paying in terms of ADA. Even though we are, we're getting amazing advice from Block, they have also been pretty nice from us as to not ask any tokens for themselves or no ADA for themselves as well. So everything is pretty transparent. We're not paying anyone in token or Cardano for any of the services, and nor are we, anyone who's promoting it, probably from his Twitter or from his Discord, is solely because they like the project. There's nothing being done from our end, or probably they like me. So that's the reason that they're doing it. There's absolutely no other reason to it.
sweet. And then Sam was asking, is there a contract address? So are you guys going to make this public before, or is this going to be announced right when you guys add LP?
Well, it's going to be announced as soon as we add, right around the time that we add LP. It's not going to be done beforehand. It's going to be done around the same time. We want to make sure that the policy ID is as protected as possible. And I think, okay, any which ways. Yeah, so we're going to protect the policy ID till the very end, and only release it before the LP launch.
Awesome. And then how will the project fight against bots? I think this is a pretty big question, because I feel like bots recently have, and we've talked about this a little bit too. Do you guys have any plans to kind of limit bots, or what's your strategy you've kind of settled on?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have two strategies going into play, and one of them was discussed pretty intensively with Wolvi as well, where we plan to add LP in a very slow manner. Like every 2 minutes, we add a 10% LP, and after 15 or 20 minutes, we get into the complete LP. The only problem that comes around from there is that anyone who does not listen to us and who goes on and buys around 6,000 or 5,000 worth of tokens in the first minute, he gets absolutely wrecked. So we're still figuring out as to what would be the best strategy. There are 4 people right now who are discussing this exact thing right now. We have formed a separate group. We are trying to make sure that we're getting the best strategy out. But yeah, we have measures in place, and we are trying to put measures in place. It's very difficult. I'm being completely honest. It's going to be damn difficult. We're going to try our best from whatever we can. But I obviously cannot make any promises at this moment. But we're going to try our best. Is all I'm going to say. It's very difficult for the token to to protect it, and at the same time not lose the momentum at the same time. So there are two things that we have to keep in mind when we're launching the LP. So in terms of taxation, there's not going to be a 20-30% pool to stop it. That is going to be for sure. But we're looking at the other options that we possibly can to make sure that there is no LP sniping.
Yeah, it's a really tough situation, because you almost have 3 different variables you're going on, right? So it's like you wanna stop bots, but you also don't want to, one, kill momentum, or you don't want to hurt any individual investor that if you guys slowly add LP, they make a buy, they don't even realize what's going on. So there's an education aspect. So it's a pretty big problem, and you can't even really hide the contract addresses too well anymore. Like a lot of these bots are monitoring for it, so it's an interesting challenge that's been happening across the crypto space in general, and especially on Cardano with the latest meme coins. So I'm sure whatever you guys end up like really deciding on will end up working out. And one of the things I was telling you too when you had asked me about it, ideally you don't have some sort of big bot snipe, but even in the event you do, if you develop enough utility or you develop enough fundamentals, or if enough people want to be a part of the project, then you guys are going to overcome that in the longer term anyways.
Well,
But
exactly.
yeah, ideally you'd avoid it in the short term, don't get me wrong, but in the long term it'll work itself out.
Well, exactly. I mean, in terms of if this was more of a pump and dump, if this was something that we wanted to do as a quick in and out, then we would probably be thinking a lot harder on this. But when you know that you're going to build something which is going to be lasting for years and months to come, it then becomes much more about the bigger picture. And but obviously, you want to get off to a good start where people are really happy with the
Mhm.
launch. So we're going to be making sure that we're doing everything in that sense. But in terms of longevity of the project, we're going to make sure that people eventually find value across the next weeks and the days to come.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I saw Domingo, you were saying perhaps penalize big purchases at the start. I don't really think you can do that on Cardano. I think the only thing you can do is add a tax, but the taxes kill too much momentum from what we've seen so far. So I mean, it's a tough, interesting spot. I also saw that Rohit asked another question. Are you guys, is a stealth launch in the books at all for you guys? Or are you guys going to announce the exact moment you add LP?
Well, we're not going to do a stealth because it's very difficult to do a stealth launch when you've already done a pre-sale, because ideally the tokens go out at that time, and eventually people get to know in a minute or two. So it's very difficult to do a stealth launch. So it's not going to be a stealth launch for sure, but yeah, because we have a pre-sale factor to it, so it's very difficult to do a stealth launch given the tokens have to be distributed as well as the refunds.
I agree with that. And then Jas, he was asking about the airdrop for what the ducks. So I
Yeah.
know that you guys allocated a portion of the supply of rich for duck holders. How is that airdrop going to work?
We're going to release the percentages after the pre-sale is done so that we have a clear idea about which collection gets how much. So after the pre-sale is done, we've already made the plans for it. It's just that we'll release it after the pre-sale is done to make sure that everything is now focused upon only Rich for the next few days.
Sweet. And I think that was all of the questions. If any of you guys have any additional last minute questions, feel free to put them in as we start to kind of wrap up this AMA here. I do see another one by Blockchain Ream. So he was saying, will What the Duck Trading University be coin gated with both What the Duck and Rich Coin holders? Or what's the gating process for the university?
Well, we are planning to do it in one way or the other. We've already started with what the duck tokens, which is something that you earn by staking your WTD NFTs. So that is something that we've already started off with. But in terms of Rich, we'll probably have to do it after the 48 hours once things have calmed down and once we know what exactly will be the price of it. So exactly, then we can price them in a way where it becomes a good entry level for everyone to get into what the duck as well.
Sweet. And yeah, I think that pretty much wraps everything up, Sonny. Was there anything else that you wanted people to know before we end the stream today? Any last minute call to actions or motivational pump ups?
Well, I mean, first things first, just make sure that you guys are not dumping, just looking at the face. So that was my primary concern when I started off the stream. That I'm going to put up all the hard work that's possible for Rich. So in terms of my commitment towards what the duck and Rich, it's going to be to the max. And I just have a little something, I guess I can show it to you guys, which is the T-shirt that we've started off with. And we're going to be making
Nice.
sure that there is going to be a lot of merch which comes in. later on. We have already printed out some, so we're going to be posting some in the near future as well. So there's a lot of stuff that's happening, and these t-shirts actually look pretty good. So I am pretty sure that you guys are gonna love them as well. So a lot of things to come in the near future. Even after the pre-sale is done, we are making sure that we're getting everything right, and we obviously have the advice of Block, big investment group. So I'm pretty sure we're going to do really well. And I think Jason would be the best person. I've seen few people ask for how the jelly process would work, and I think Jason is going to be the guy for you, who's going to explain you everything, probably via post or something.
Yeah, I'll have a post for that as well. So stay tuned to that on as well, guys. I'm gonna try to post that after this video on our Discord, just for people that are interested in learning about that whitelist opportunity as well. But yeah, Sonny, good luck with everything, man. I mean, this has been like a crazy grind. You guys have had a lot of momentum, a lot of engagement so far. Your passes are 300 ADA, somewhere around there. And there's like a decent amount of them, like 1,500 passes, something like that. So just congrats on the success so far. And, best of luck with everything that you guys have going on. And I hope this launch is smooth for you guys here.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm pretty sure that we're all going to get rich. So just make sure that you are getting your rich passes. You're going to make, yeah. So
not financial advice. You have to say not financial advice. Otherwise,
I mean the token. It's a non-financial advice in DYOR, but yeah, do make sure that you're getting some rich.
Oh, we even have a dude in here, Rich Brown Doberman. I think he's been subbed to the channel for a while now, so that's funny that he's got the rich in his name. He's meant for it.
I guess
Dolphin. Yeah.
Oh, this is Ada Dolphin. So when we went on the stream, when I was doing the spaces, he told me his actual name is Rich, and he has to get some rich. So probably this is your motivation to get some.
Yeah, I love it, man. But yeah, guys, thank you for everyone that tuned in today. Definitely check out their Twitter and Discord if you're interested in learning more about their project. And yeah, always appreciate everyone that listens in, especially on these live streams. I know I randomly will post them from time to time, but thank you guys for everyone that jumped in. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you, Jason, for the opportunity, and thank you everyone for joining in. And I'll see you in the Discord if there's any other info that you need. And thank you again to Block Investment Group. Thank you so much.